Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Cotzi. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Cotzi, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Cotzi, 561-441-2730. A ride.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Swimsuit, passport, phone, with VPN activated.
VPN?
Cell phone service is going to be spotty on vacation, so we'll be using public Wi-Fi.
Sounds sketchy.
Exactly. The networks can leave your personal info, like credit card numbers, exposed to hackers.
McAfee's secure VPN lets you browse and bank safely from wherever, whenever. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And tonight on the Rita Cosby Show, well, the fireworks were definitely happening at a House Homeland Security hearing. And you should hear what they were saying to Kristi Noem. The Democrats were like, are you leaving? Are you planning on resigning? Are you going to get fired? What's the status of your job employment? And she came back with some great zingers. And these are Democrats at this hearing who are going after her, saying, why are you rounding up people? And then she'd say, well, there are 18,000 suspected and known terrorists that came into this country under Joe Biden. I would consider them a threat. I would consider them a problem. And they just kind of look like, well, here's one example of Grandma so-and-so. And she would say, well, let me tell you about Grandma so-and-so. It was quite a remarkable moment. And to see LaMonica MacGyver, not to be confused with the MacGyver TV show, she is the one who in Newark, New Jersey was bum rushing, remember, the ICE facility. She was publicly scolding Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security. Now, where were these people during all the stuff with Joe Biden? They were MIA. They were nowhere to be found. They were not interested back then to hear that the Biden, administration's policy was clearly a wide open border policy. They were part of the plan. It was so obvious and it was so blatant. And guess what? It is also so incredibly painful because what a bunch of hypocrites. They were totally taking the side of criminals today. And then they were asked about the National Guard shooting and these attacks on law enforcement, these attacks on ICE, the attacks on all these individuals. And what did they come back with? Oh, they called it, quote, an unfortunate accident. Is there anybody out there that actually thinks the shooting of the National Guard troops, killing one of them, the female, of course, Sarah, and the other one who is still fighting for his life, that's, quote, an accident? I don't think there's anything that's an accident. It was an Afghan who never should have been in the country, clearly wasn't vetted. Clearly, there were a lot of warning signs. He drove across the country and he opened fire on 2 National Guards folks after driving 3,000 miles for 5 days. I don't really see where the accident part comes in. This is premeditation, pure and simple. And also today, Tyler Robinson, who has been accused of the heinous crime of killing Charlie Kirk, executing Charlie Kirk, assassinating him. The whole world saw it. Did you see him in court today? Oh, my goodness. His smirk was ear to ear. It was really hard to watch this guy sitting there in his sort of business attire with a coat and shirt and tie, smiling, looking like he almost was enjoying the moment. It was a really frightening scenario. And for me, it was absolutely infuriating and absolutely outrageous. When you see this guy, it reminded me of the Luigi Mangione case. Remember the United Healthcare case where that guy was smiling ear to ear. That guy was brimming left and right. And that guy, of course, has all these female followers who are all over town, all over the country, and are saying, free Luigi, even though he's accused of killing the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. And now you've got this guy, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, who looked like not a care in the world. He was just kind of hanging out there in the court today, smiling, cool as a cucumber, like it was just another day at the office. He's accused of one of the most brutal, horrific crimes that the whole world saw. And he's acting like, yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out here. No big deal. Almost seemed to be enjoying it. That, to me, is a very, very sad testament. Where have we come, guys, that's at the point where these people are dressed up like businessmen, and then really they're killers, cold-blooded killers. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-9222. And meantime, Zoran Mondani doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on his fight against ICE, coming out and saying that he will not allow the NYPD to assist ICE in any shape or form. He says he is also prepared to be arrested. So why don't we just do it right now? I'm kidding. But he said he's prepared to be arrested if that's what it takes, because he was asked by MSN Now's reporter, will you, they're saying that maybe the, Trump administration, Kristi, Noem, Tom Homeland, those folks, that if anyone aids and abets or blocks any activities by ICE or National Guard or others, that they could potentially start arresting local politicians. They've been saying that for a long time. I actually firmly believe they should be arresting these people. I think they got to start getting tough because these people are clearly not getting the message. They're getting more and more emboldened. And so he was asked about that, and he said, yeah, I am prepared to be arrested, whatever it takes. This guy is a true believer. So let's start with LaMonica MacGyver, Democrat, who started questioning Kristi Noem, and it's at the House Homeland Security Committee. And listen to this. She would not let her get a word in edgewise.
Is Trump embarrassed by your tenure, or is this exactly the kind of god-awful leadership he wants at DHS? Yes or no?
Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No. It's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay, Secretary Noem, this is my time to talk, not your time to talk. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Chair, I reclaim my time. Secretary Noem, DHS is breaking the law, hiding information from Congress and shutting out oversight. So let me ask you, how can the American people trust your department with you at the helm with this kind of behavior?
The American people absolutely trust this department to keep them safe. And we are showing that every day by the support we get across the country, the amount of people that we're recruiting to all of our different agencies. Thank you, Secretary
Noem. Do you agree that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
Excuse me, would you say that
You
again?
would have heard me if you stopped talking and listened to my questions. Do you agree that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
We are not doing that. We are out there enforcing the law, doing our work, and we are allowing oversight.
Of course, we're not going to get any answers. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Wasn't that an illuminating conversation? I mean, what was her point? And this is the woman who bum rushed, remember, the New Jersey ICE facility. So what, she's the expert on constitutional law? And her whole point was, we're being blocked, we're being this, we're being that. Yet she was the one, if you look at the video, at least it looks like to me, and she got charged with assault, it looks like to me she's the one who's pushing the ICE agents. She is the one who clearly doesn't understand the law and will do anything for a headline. And I guess today was case number 2. So here is Benny Thompson, remember, from the January 6th committee, and listen to what he had to say about the National Guard shooting. This is really shocking. Listen to his choice of words about the shooting, which, again, still has one guard fighting for his life, and Sarah, again, as we know, was killed. Listen to this.
Madam Secretary, you and the gentleman from NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
it was a terrorist attack.
Wait. Look, I'll get it straight. then you can
He shot our National Guardsman in the head.
Look, Mr. Chairman, will you direct the witness to allow me to ask my question? It was an unfortunate situation.
That's incredible. He still kept calling it an unfortunate accident, unfortunate situation. Wouldn't even let her talk. And next year is an election year, guys. Buckle up. So here is Kristi Noem. Here's a little more. Sri Thanodar, the guy known for the really bad wig, and he's the one in Michigan. He's the one who was calling for Trump to be impeached. And today he told Kristi Noem she should just resign. And this is cut number 5. But let me first go to cut number 7, which is a little bit more on the National Guard. And this is Julie Johnson.
You can't just snatch somebody walking into a coffee shop because of the color of their skin. There's no probable cause for that. And also that you will get due process. And that is not happening. And so you're seeing is an overwhelming frustration of the American people in this country that the lack of respect and regard for the rule of law by this administration, and in particular by this secretary, is at a level that we have never seen and violates all of the constitutional norms and all of the principles of legal fairness in this country. And you're seeing that manifest itself in threats to law enforcement and bubbling over because people are frustrated. And they are channeling that frustration because the administration is not listening.
I guess if you're a repeated murderer, a rapist, a pedophile, maybe you are unhappy with the efforts by the Trump administration. So here is Sri Thanodar, the guy with the bad wig, and here's the exchange that he had with Kristi Noem. He said it's time for her to leave.
I am sick of your lies. The American people are sick of these lies. American people demand truth.
America is very happy that finally they have a president in the White House that gets up every day to keep them safe.
Madam Secretary, your incompetence and your inability to truthfully carry out your duties of Secretary of Homeland Security. If you're not fired, will you resign?
Sir, I will consider your asking me to resign as an endorsement of my work. Thank you very much.
That was a great answer. It's an endorsement of my work. It means I'm doing a good job if clowns like you are coming after me. And speaking of which, I mentioned this about Al Green not wasting any time, not the singer that Matt Blaze loves, but Al Green, the congressman, Democrat of Texas. He moved to get a vote on 2 articles of impeachment. This happened late last night against President Trump. And there were a number of other Democrats that joined him. 23 Democrats joined him, including Hakeem Jeffries, Kathleen Clark, Pete Aguilar, and a whole bunch of others. But, of course, it's not going to go anywhere. The final vote fell very short, 237 to 140, with 47 present votes. But that's pretty interesting. 237 to 140. So obviously there's still a lot of people that are saying, yeah, we'll get there. So can you imagine if they end up having the House of Representatives? It will be constant impeachment. And I said it last night, it's impeachment mania. And Al Green's not even waiting 1 second whatsoever. Let's go to Dom real quick in Minnesota, line 1. Dom, your thoughts tonight.
Yeah, Rita, I think we just witnessed Wonder Woman Kristi Noem at the congressional hearing. You know, when Congressman Thompson declared the murder of 2 guardsmen as an unfortunate incident, Secretary Noem wasted no time in saying, you call murdering 2 National Guards an unfortunate event. ICE will enforce our existing laws until you guys change it. If you don't like it, then go change it. I think all of you should be fired. She was wired and fired. She asked everybody to be fired in the inquiry meeting.
Yeah, you're right. She threw it right back at them, and that was great. And you're right. The fact that she picked up right away on his horrible phrasing, that was, I think, really brilliant on her part. And it's shocking because he still used the phrase unfortunate incident. He kept kind of like playing with these words because that's what I guess he thinks. I guess he thinks it was a, quote, accident. And you heard there's nothing accidental about what the guy did. He drove 3,000 miles, took 5 days. He planned it, plotted it, all that stuff. But it's an accident to Benny Thompson. I mean, to me, you know what's so scary, Dom? It shows the mindset, and it shows that these people will do anything and say anything and make any excuse, even for a cold-blooded killer. Somebody who is a trained assassin who then drove all this way to kill an American soldier who was just there to protect all of us and injure another very seriously. They'll still call that an accident. I mean, that says a lot about them, Dom. Really quick, your thoughts.
If all of these people, these Democrats keep using the term American people, they don't give a fig Newton about any American people. And I'll bet you if all of them were thrown in jail, they could all get off with an insanity plea.
Yeah, you're right. It would be so blatant. Good point, Dom. Great one, my friend. Have a great night, Dom. Everybody will continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. And you're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Take my word for it. I live there. Come to Florida. Get pre-approved right now with my guy, Michael Kotze. Call him at 561-441-2730. He's got Choice Mortgage and a great real estate team. Get pre-approved right now. Michael Kotze, 561-441-2730. Buy in Florida right now. Don't wait. Save money on state taxes. Make your move today with Choice Mortgage. Trust me, Florida is waiting. This guy's so good, he did my commercials in Florida, too. Mike Kotze, 561-441-2730. All right.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana. Everyone wants the Emirates NBA Cup.
And things are heating up.
30 teams started. Bang! But only 8 have advanced to the single elimination knockout rounds. To survive, they'll have to be hungry, relentless, ruthless.
Are you kidding me?
They all want the cup, but only one team can claim it. Who will capture the cup? Emirates NBA Cup semifinals, Saturday on Prime.
This is Charlie. He's my part rescue dog, part whirlwind. Half of his breakfast always ends up on the floor. And he leaves fur everywhere. That's why I grabbed the Bissell Power Clean Fur Finder. It's cordless, powerful, and actually finds fur you don't even see. If you've got a pet like Charlie, you've got fur everywhere. The Power Clean Fur Finder gets that. Discover how Power Clean Fur Finder makes pet cleanups effortless at Bissell.com.
It's the Rita Cosby Show.
Well, you got to be in the fast lane and think fast when you're dealing with these crazy Democrats asking questions. And boy, it wasn't even really a Q&A. It was like, let me do a long soliloquy and then let's not let Kristi Noem answer. That's how it went today. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Robert in Brooklyn. Go ahead, Robert.
Hi, Rita. Thanks for taking my call. Well, the situation you have now with the Democrats and Republicans, it's almost like the Democrats are arsonists who basically, they destroy stuff. But the Republicans, they're like pretending to be firefighters, but they're not sincerely really trying to put out the arsonists. So, for example, in usual Wales, they point out how so many of these people who go to the House and the Senate, they start off like relatively low middle class and they become millionaires. So an example of a situation we have, according to the American Presidency Project, President Trump in his second term, he already passed 218 executive orders This was last updated December 6th, so they might have had more, but at least 218 executive orders. Now, they just put out the National Defense Authorization Act. They only try to codify 15 executive orders. He did 218, only 15. And
wait, hey, Robert, do me a favor. We got to go to a hard break because you always have good information. So hang on. I'm going to go to you after the break. Also, I was singing your praises last night, Robert, because Tom Homan said he's looking into Ilhan Omar and her immigration status. So stick with us, Robert.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Okay, only 10 more presents to wrap. You're almost at the finish line. But first... there, the last one. Enjoy a Coca-Cola for a pause that refreshes.
Every successful business evolves. And to keep up, you need a bank relationship that evolves too. When you collaborate with KeyBank, you don't get one-size-fits-all solutions. Our expansive team of experts across industry verticals wouldn't be here if you did. Always ready with bespoke solutions for your biggest challenges and opportunities. We know all businesses are different, and that's why we approach business differently. Reimagine business as usual. KeyBank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/B2B.
Hi, it's Eva Longoria, and let's be real. After 40, we should ask for more from our skincare. I swear by Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. With vitamin C, pro-retinol, and hyaluronic acid, it reduces my wrinkles, firms, and brightens. And it's not a procedure. It's just a hard-working moisturizer.
Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer by L'Oreal Paris. Grab it today in fragrance-free or with SPF 30. Available at your local Walmart.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Komm du noch?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Rita Cosby is on. The Rita Cosby Show presents Back the Blue.
And this Back the Blue segment coming from Georgetown, Illinois, where quick-thinking police officers and an ambulance crew got a mother and her baby out through a bedroom window safely while a trailer was totally engulfed in flames next door. So the fire chief said that his crew was alerted to a trailer on fire. He said that on his way to the fire, he said, once I saw the smoke, when I was coming out of Westville, I called for help and then I dropped the box alarm. He said, I could see so much smoke coming from that direction and it was pretty much engulfing the trailer. So they noticed the siding of the house was melting from heat, and with only two doors facing the fire and no rear exit, escape routes were very limited. A man appeared looking for people inside, and that's when they learned that a mother and a baby were still trapped in that house. So they literally went around the house. They got to the kitchen window first, but it was too small for the carrier, a baby carrier. And then the mom tried to use a bedroom window as a means of escape, but she could not open it. So the police, pretty much with their fists, started busting through the glass. Once the glass was broken, that's when she was able to pass the baby through, and then they were able to pass the mother through as well. Both escaped with minor injuries. What an incredible and dramatic story, and bravo to the heroism of our great men and women in blue. And everybody, coming December 20th, it is Home for the Holidays with Mr. Christmas, Vinny Medugno, live from Studio 77 in the heart of New York City. Get ready to slay your night away with live performances, also plenty of ugly Christmas sweaters and great jolly friends. It is Mr. Christmas, Vinny Medugno, singing your holiday favorites live in concert December 20th at WABC Studios. And for more information and tickets, go to homefortheholidays2025.com. It is Mr. Christmas, Vinnie Modugno, live in concert from WABC headquarters in Studio 77. That's homefortheholidays2025.com. And we have been talking about the reaction by Democrats against ICE, against the National Guard, and against the Trump cabinet. And today, listen to this one by Senator Tammy Duckworth. We've heard about how many attacks have been happening on ICE. They are up 8,000%. Death threats against ICE. Attacks, physical attacks against ICE, up 1,000%. And yet, Tammy Duckworth, the senator, she says, what are you talking about? There's no problem with ICE. Listen to this one. This is a real doozy.
So there was no rioting in Chicago before ICE was sent in. And for the past 2 months, Illinoisans have seen DHS federal agents abusing our communities. President Trump wanted to put our troops in the middle of it. The courts have stopped him so far, and the courts are finding again and again that there is no legal reason for what he is doing. But in his ideal world, Trump wants our professional military to defend unprofessional and abusive federal law enforcement agents. So let me tell you what is happening in Chicago. It is not ICE agents that are being attacked.
It's not ICE agents that are being attacked. I guess it's all misunderstood when these bottles and firecrackers and, everything else being thrown at them. People have opened fire in Chicago against ICE agents. Remember, there's a bounty on the head for a number of them in Chicago. And she says they're not being attacked. I guess it's just misunderstood. Here's a little bit more from the hearing today. This is with Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. And she had some great comebacks. Here's one of them.
I think it's shameful to see the defense of individuals who break our laws. We are a nation of laws. If we are not a nation of laws, we're no nation at all. And that is what we are doing every day, is following those. If you guys don't like the law, go change it. That's your job. You don't complain. I was raised by a dad who said we don't complain about things. We fix them. Well, go fix them. If you don't like the law, quit bellyaching, quit hitting and attacking our ICE officers, quit going out and protesting and screaming vile things at them, quit calling them names. We wouldn't let our children do that. Go do something that actually matters by having an honest debate and changing the law. That's your jobs. You all should be fired, in my viewpoint.
By the way, you all should be fired. And now, here's a little bit more. This is Congressman Tim Kennedy, and she had a good comeback to him, too. Listen to this one.
Officials' assessment that the United States has been operating in a heightened threat environment for several years now.
Yes.
Yes or no? Would you say New York City is susceptible to these kinds of security threats?
Yes, and that's why they should spend.
So with New York City
$440
being the number one terrorist
reserves,
target in the nation,
the federal government gave them
with
to
New
use
York
to
City
secure
being
their
the number
city,
one, I reclaim my time. With New York City being the number one security threat in this nation, it's unconscionable that you would cut $134 million in urban area security initiative funding for the city of New York. What compelled you to knowingly make our cities less safe with these funding cuts?
What compels you, your mayor, and your governor to release thousands of criminals on the streets rather than to turn them over to ICE? You'd rather release
Secretary Noem,
a murderer out onto your street,
you cut $134 million
and honor our detainers.
in funds to support the security of New York City.
Isn't it such a nice, tranquil, hospitable discussion? Really incredible. And that is probably just a sign of what's to come. Let's go back to Robert in Brooklyn. Go ahead, Robert, line 5.
Yeah, well, Captain Cosby, former Senator Manchin, even he admitted President Trump the outstanding job he's doing on the border. There's no illegals coming in, and he got about 2 million of them apparently have gone, most of them voluntarily. His tariffs, Mexico, the legislature passed 50% tariffs on China, imitating what Trump did. The biggest form of flattery is imitation. And what does Trump have to work with? He has to work with Democrats who are a bunch of arsonists, and he has a bunch of Republicans who pretend to be firefighters, but they're fake frauds and phonies. For example, Trump, he passed at least about 218 executive orders since he became the second presidency, just since January. 218 executive orders, according to the American President Project. And meanwhile, the National Defense Authorization Act that the Republicans are going with only codifies 15 executive orders out of 218. It's outrageous. And, Representative Keith Self talked about that he wanted to have an amendment to include about banning central bank digital currencies, and they wouldn't make it in. And, that was one of the things Ramaswamy was big on, and President Trump, he said he was going to push that. Meanwhile, and he put an executive order. Meanwhile, the Republicans didn't put it in. So, it's appalling. We even had a vote today in the House. We got 13 Republicans going against President Trump, what he did about, Trump's policy on federal worker unions. You have 13 Republicans like Nicole Maliotakis and Nick Loda, and Mike Lawler. Some of these guys, 13 or 3 in New York, I see. And they're going against what President Trump did, his executive order.
So Robert, hang on. Robert, you got a lot of stuff in there. I hear what you're saying, that Congress needs to start really codifying Trump, because guess what? And I agree with you. Because the problem is, especially next year is midterm year, and typically, the party in power in the White House is not the one who keeps the House usually. It flips and flops quite often. Not always, but quite often. So there's a good chance it could end up in Democratic hands. And then it's going to be like every investigation is not going to go anywhere. Also, all of these different, impeachment efforts, they're going to try to push it through to the Senate, even if they don't have the votes in the Senate. But they may have the votes in the House if they get Democratic control. That is a mess. And like you said, just even on these executive orders, you don't want the next person who comes in. Hopefully, it's a Republican who can follow his policies. But if it's not, and it ends up being somebody like a Gavin Newsom on day one, he's just going to kill all these executive orders. So I think you bring up a really superb point. And I think it's important that they start doing their job. And you can tell, I think Trump would like to have Congress turbocharged right now. You could tell there's, he wants to make sure his legacy is intact and it's not instantly reversed at the swoop of a auto pen, if you will. Robert, go ahead real quick.
Well, just a couple points. You had Chris Ray on, not Chris Ray, but you had Chris Ray
right, he's
on.
The number. I want to explain to everybody who he is. He's the number 2 FBI guy in New York.
And no, because is that Christopher Ray? This is a different person.
I know. I spoke to him. Robert, I think I know who you're talking to. Go ahead.
Right. So he made a comment that something to the effect that the FBI is here to protect the American people. With all due respect, maybe that's how he thinks of it. But from what we've seen of the FBI, their major focus is protecting the ruling class. Not protecting Americans, protecting the ruling class, protecting people like Hillary Clinton, protecting people like Joe Biden with the laptop. And just one other point, Rita, there's this horrific story, about former hostage Noem Marciano in Israel. The video of her daughter where they had a doctor in Gaza who injected air.
I heard. It's horrible.
They accused Israel of killing her in an airstrike. They're such liars and frauds, and these Hamas people also the baby food.
By the way, Robert, they are absolutely horrible. I'm with you. There is no doubt about it. And speaking of which, with the FBI, I do believe that it was very politicized, unfortunately, under Joe Biden. And I think a lot of that came from the top. I think so many of the folks that are in the day-to-day operations of the FBI, so many of the agents, like a Christopher Rea, who's now head assistant director there in New York, those kind of people, guess what? I think those people are noble people with great missions. I'm not going to sweep them all with a political brush like you're doing. I think there were a lot under Biden, but I think a lot of them are no longer there or have been completely minimized. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Because there are so many great folks there. Robert, thank you. You always have good stuff. Always good to talk to you. Let's go to Larry in Tampa, line 2. Go ahead, Larry. Your thoughts tonight.
Hi, Rita. I'm with you. I think that Chairman Benny Thompson, I would like to call on his fellow Congress people to demand that he undergo psychological evaluation before being able to proceed in Congress, because these delusions that he expressed are evidence that he's not in his right mind.
Yeah, for him to call it an unfortunate accident. I mean, there's nothing, it's pre-planned and it wasn't an accident. I mean, he's like apologizing for the killer.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder what the matter is he ruling on, and these people are handling important business for us, and we entrust government business to people that don't seem to be working, with all cylinders.
Yeah, by the way, Larry, 100%, there definitely seems to be a screw loose. And remember, he was the guy at the January 6th committee who suddenly destroyed the evidence because he, quote, didn't know he needed to save it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he suddenly happened to do it and didn't know you can't preserve evidence. What was he destroying? I think we still need to know. There's a lot of questions tonight on that. Let's go to Kirk in Staten Island on line 4. Go ahead, Kirk. Your thoughts tonight.
Hi, Rita. I was listening earlier. What is happening in this country? These young girls, they're in love with this murderer. What is going on?
I agree. The Luigi Mangione. And then what did you make of the guy tonight? The guy today, this is the Tyler Robinson, the one who's accused of killing Charlie Kirk. Same thing. He's nicely dressed and smiling and smirking. He's going to have I think he's going to have a fan club too, which is really frightening, Kirk.
Rita, they keep lying about Charlie Kirk. That he was a good man.
Oh, by the way, he was a great man. There is no doubt about it. And listen, a faithful man, a beautiful man, and a father and a husband and a huge leader in this country. And that's why he was a threat to a number of people, sadly, very, very sadly. And boy, his legacy, his wife is just such the epitome of class. It's truly extraordinary what we've seen her do. And the grace and poise she has shown, I think the world has been remarkable. Let's go to Marianne in Queens, line 1. Go ahead, Marianne. Marianne. All right, Marianne, you missed your turn. Too bad. Let's go to Patrick in Indiana, line 3. Go to Patrick. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. Everybody is talking about Mamdani, and they don't want him to be mayor. And President Trump is not enforcing the Constitution. His duty, his oath of office that he took, he would have to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. And that doesn't mean letting this communist become governor or mayor so he can start communism in the United States, and it would spread across the country.
But wait a minute, Patrick, you realize what you're saying is that the president's going to remove from office a mayor. First of all, he hasn't even come in yet. He comes in on the 1st. But that's very difficult to do. As much as, believe me, a lot of his views I agree. I think a lot of Mamdani's views are dangerous. They're deeply concerning. I think they're troubling for New York. I think they're troubling for America. But if there's a silver lining, Patrick, Governor Kathy Hochul could remove, or if a Republican, more likely, if a Republican becomes governor, then they could remove. So if, say, Elise Stefanik or Bruce Blakeman, if they were to win, they could remove also Mamdani. I don't see Hochul doing it because she endorsed him. But you're right. The more I hear about this guy, the more concerned I am. And we're going to play some stuff later on in the show tonight, too. He is absolutely steadfast on not having the NYPD cooperate with ICE. Everybody, we're going to continue your calls after the break. 1-800-848-9222. And you're listening to The Rita Cosby Show.
The Rita Cosby Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. Jay Kelly, the new film from Academy Award nominee Noah Baumbach. George Clooney stars as an actor confronting his past and present on a journey of self-discovery, alongside Adam Sandler as his devoted manager. Critics are calling it a declaration of love to the chaotic art of filmmaking, with the Wall Street Journal praising it as a transcendent comedy drama. Jay Kelly is now playing only on Netflix.
At IKEA, your dreams can come true. Well, maybe not the ones where you're being chased by a monster. We're talking about kitchen dreams. And there are IKEA products and solutions for all of them. Whether it's a whole new kitchen, a statement glassware set, or just new cutlery. If you got big dreams or small dreams in any size or budget, IKEA can help you bring them to life. Visit IKEA.us/dreamkitchen to learn more. Dream the possibilities.
Introducing Meta Ray-Ban Display, the world's most advanced AI glasses. With a full color display built into the lens of the glasses, it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. Send and receive messages, translate or caption live conversations, collaborate with Meta AI, and more. Be one of the first to try Meta Ray-Ban Display. Visit meta.com/Meta Ray-Ban Display to book a demo and find your pair.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
This is the Rita Cosby Show.
And as we are talking about immigration and Homeland Security, get this, J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, has now pushed for a bill that has immigration protections in courthouses. In other words, ICE can no longer arrest you in a state courthouse and within a 1,000-foot buffer zone outside of the buildings. It also allows, get this, Illinois residents to sue immigration agents who violate their constitutional right to due process and protection against unreasonable search and seizures. I'm waiting for J.B. Pritzker to maybe file something that would be helpful maybe to law enforcement. That would be a nice, refreshing change. And speaking of law enforcement, a horrible story. This just crossed that a tourist was stabbed inside Macy's Herald Square, Macy's in New York there, by a crazed homeless woman during a busy holiday season time. It only happened around 3:13 today in the afternoon. And a woman who works with a California sheriff's office went into the ladies' room there at Macy's, and a crazed homeless woman suddenly stabbed her multiple times in the back and in the arm. What a scary situation. And she was there shopping, the woman who was attacked, with her husband. They did take this deranged homeless person into custody. It's a 43-year-old woman. Obviously a troubled, but obviously certainly somebody, I'm sure, probably had a long rap sheet and got out by a soft on crime judge in New York. But how scary and how sad to kick off the holiday season with something like that. Wow. 1-800-848-9222. Let's go to Norm in Brooklyn, line 1. Go ahead, Norm.
Yeah, I'm following up on what you're talking about, how ICE is being demonized. In the New York City subways, they have posters up on the, where the advertisements are, and basically soliciting people who've been abused by ICE. And it seems to have the logo of the city or the state on them, so it's not like individual law firms who are doing this. It's I don't know. Somebody
that's
in the
interesting.
City, whatever. They're taking money for advertisements to,
Norm, let me ask you.
Through ICE agents.
Hang on, this is interesting. You believe it's a state? Does it say, hey, here's what? Is it a website or is it a phone number? And what is it?
It seems to be a phone number and a website. About when I'm in the subway, I don't usually like standing up and stuff, but I'll look further next time I'm on the subway.
Yeah, would you? You got to come back and report back. That's interesting. I mean, we've seen this in a couple places, like Gavin Newsom has his snitch against ICE, website to report it. But that's wild that it's on the subway. And if it's city sponsored.
Thanks for listening to The Rita Cosby Show. You can hear The Rita Cosby Show weeknights at 10 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now, is right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.